I'd like to ask you today if you are happy, meaning are you fulfilled? If you were to have a near-death experience, would you look back and say, I've tasted all I need to taste. I'm proud of the things that I've done. The people around me are better because they knew me. And the world is a better place because I'm in it. Does that describe yourself? Because if not, I would like to ask you, who is shaping the dreams that you are so desperately trying to live up to? Whose shadow are you living under? My father had a dream. My father, Leonard Liu, and his 6 brothers and sisters were refugees of war, and they lived under some very harsh conditions of which I can only imagine. And he knew that if he wanted to get himself out of that situation, he needed to work his little behind off to be the best in the best school, be the best student, and get a full scholarship so that he could come to America, the land of opportunity. He had a really modest dream. He wanted to provide opportunities for he and his children so that they could pursue any opportunities that, well, we wanted to, anywhere that we wanted to. And when he landed in New Jersey with $1,000 in his pocket and 1 wooden trunk of clothing to his name, he knew that he had made it. And I am so grateful to him to be a product of his American dream. Sorry. But you know, when I talked to him about the American dream, he's sort of horrified about the excessive turn that the American dream has taken. You know, from this warm family gathering around a turkey dinner depicted by the idyllic paintings of Norman Rockwell, we've moved to this glorifying of over-the-top images of lifestyles, you know, in vogue, like this cover of Kim and Kanye, right? So Kanye says, Kim is a dream girl and she deserves a dream life, except that this dream life includes a dream closet that is an entirely separate house. I mean, seriously, this might be fine for Kim and Kanye, but this is a terrible model dream that we're showing our youth of America and the youth of the world. This bling dream, this excessive dream, is not making anybody happy. Well, except for maybe the stars and the producers of the reality shows who are filthy, filthy rich, right? But this bling dream has been feeding off of us as we continue to feed it. And I think we should be mad. I think we should be mad at these producers of mass media that are leading us blindly down a path of unhappiness. I think we should be mad at these people who are distracting us from the things that really matter. The issue with the hijacking of the American dream is not just that it's the wrong dream, but it's the people who are serving them up to us, right? Mass media has actually substituted, robbed us of authentic role models and replaced them with false idols. False idols who are like, look at me, I'm so pretty. Just come with us and we'll have a good time, because, you know, that's hot. Yeah, no, I feel totally cheated. I feel snookered. I feel really punked, right? I think that we should be taking back this narrative. What do you guys think? Right? I think we should take back the reinventing of the American dream. We should be shaping it ourselves. So you might say, whoa, this is really impossible. You know, how can we play a role in shaping the American dream? It's way too big. So let me give you big, okay? The last 10 years, I have been living in China, where I've been a sustainability activist, and this is a country that has 4 times the number of people in the same landmass as America. You know, we came from dirt poor, like less than dirt poor, and now, on average, a household has 1/10 of the disposable personal income as an American. But if 800 million middle-class consumers decide that they want a bling dream like the Kim Kardashian dream, a conspicuous consumption dream, I can tell you that the world is not big enough to support this conspicuous consumption dream. So what have we been doing for the last 3.5 years? My organization, JUCCCE, surrounded by people around the world, have been thinking about how do we change behavior at mass scale? How do we create our own China dream that leads us in a way that is authentic to us, that is sustainable, but also leads us down to a path of prosperity that we're proud of. So I'm going to share with you some of these lessons that we've learned from around the world, because this now has been packaged into a process called Dream in a Box that we are sharing openly with everybody around the world. And fundamentally, this is about taking back your dreams. It's a process that we can do together to start the conversation right here and right now. So the first step is framing the dream. Framing the dream, the most important thing is to actually co-create it. To have these conversations not dictated to us by movie producers or reality show producers or print magazines, but actually to sit down together. These workshops have actually been formulated by us, by Julian Bora, who used to be the global creative director of JUCCCE. These 25 people workshops, very intimate settings, we had cultural experts, sustainability experts, and storytellers. The same advertising executives and scriptwriters that shoveled conspicuous consumption at us are trying to help us create this new dream. So, classes, we've held classes at universities, we've trained mayors across China on how to build this new China dream. We're asking people to say, what does this look like to them? So we've really engaged people all across the country. The second step is really to voice the dream. So this is really important because what we need to use is a different language, especially with sustainability, right? We have been talking to people's heads and not to people's hearts. We have been using jargon that only speaks to less than 10% of the people. What we need to do is revoice this through the lens of personal prosperity. And so we've asked people to look at the language that makes sense to them so that we can align sustainability jargon but retell the story. The third step is vision the dream. Now this is really truly important, especially here in Los Angeles where everybody's involved in, visioning. So visioning dream is so important, especially in China where we're really a vacuum of visuals and everything has really been drip-fed to us from the West, right? But so visualizing it and more importantly embedding it into mass media is really important because if we can't see it, we can't copy it. I mean, create it, right? Yeah. So in China, let me just give you some quick examples. 18,000 dead virus pigs floating down the river, a symptom of a massive food safety issue we have in China. What I would like to see is one day everybody gets organic vegetables delivered to them on their doorstep weekly. We have 61 million children left behind in villages while their parents go find work in cities, right? Broken families. What I would like to see is a world where everybody can sit around their dinner table with their family and friends every day and feel that connection. In China, we have a problem where we're studying so hard for the college entrance exam that that's all we do. We have a problem where 50% of the population is pre-diabetic. I think it's about 12% that has type 1 diabetes already. You know why? Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, KFC. Well, we need a world where all the kids love to go outside and play, right? This might be normal for here, but it's not normal for China. We need to, instead of building for high growth, isolated developments that aren't connected, we need to build eco-cities like this one in Chengdu that will be up in 8 years. 1 square kilometer walkable eco-everything. We have a world where people are living in 28 square meters, about 280 square feet per person, right? We have no social spaces. This is, a dog park that I would love to see, a pedestrian eating street that I would love to see in every city, every community across China. So the next step is really forging the dream. So it doesn't help if we just say what we want, if we show what we want, but we actually can't make it happen. So, okay, this is part of the how that I'm going to show you through examples of what we've been doing in China. Dana Boyd, a friend of mine who is a principal researcher at Microsoft Research, she focuses on social media and how it affects teens. She said something really profound to me when we first started this, and she said, if you want to start a movement, you need to have every single person in the community say the same thing around the same time. So your family, your friends, your church leaders, your job colleagues, your grocery store cashiers, all of those people need to be saying the new American dream in order for this to happen and become a true movement. So, pollution. I think everybody's heard that we have pollution, but you probably don't know how bad it is. right? So 736, 500, it was 500 just yesterday in Beijing. Okay, when it's 50, the AQI is 50 in Brussels, they stop all car traffic. The World Health Organization actually says 25 is the maximum safety pollution level. Okay, that's actually a picture of Beijing, but I'm sorry, you can't actually see it. So what we've been doing with a coalition of companies that just literally got together in a month, and we started giving away these disposable masks with mustaches on them to tell people they need to wear their masks or they're gonna die. 8-year-old girls are dying of pollution, cancer, right? And we made these little 15-second videos that are fun and put them on waterless urinals in hotspots in Shanghai. This one, a new way to eat. We're eating more beef, more pork, more everything, actually. China, the population is basically gonna eat everybody out of house and home if we follow Western lifestyles. So we're starting to teach primary school students how to eat in a way that's good for them and good for the planet. Sustainable agriculture plus nutrition. So we're working with schools, we're working with chefs, we're working with Compass, the school meal providers, we're working with nutritionalists around the world, including here in Los Angeles. So you're sort of getting the pattern. We need coalition of collaborators to create action. This is a company, a software development company, that created this mobile app that allows people to say, I see this in my community, but boy, I really wish I had this. This is, by the way, an algae lake versus what they wish, which is the park. So a mobile app, and we've done this with Tongji University, the Shanghai government, to start getting people to express themselves and saying how they can improve their local communities. This is really important. Advertising shapes our social norms in large part, right? So we started talking to a lot of the companies like Unilever. This is a Dove workshop that we did with Watson's, which is a retailer in Asia. This just won an award for Best CSR campaign in Watson's. And basically we showed them how they can take the new China Dream values, see where it intersects with the Dove brand values, and create a marketing campaign that creates a community out of their customers to give compliments. Now you might not know this, but Chinese people don't know how to give compliments. We also don't know how to receive them. So like if I saw you, I might say as a term of endearment, hey, you got a little fatter today. You know, it's like, okay. People the dream. Now we don't want any more false idols speaking for us. I mean, what happened to the Martin Luther King Jr.'s, the JFKs, etc.? I think we need to go out and find these authentic role models. And if you can't find them in your community, go become one. Right? Because we need real people speaking for us about the American dream. In China, we've started picking out about 6 so far, real people that anybody could become one day. Ms. Public Service Mommy, that's me. Mr. Healthy CEO, Ms. Nature, Mr. City 2.0, right? These are people that are taking the dialogue of China Dream across the nation for us. Sharing the dream. Okay, this is where we need to start embedding these new social norms across every single media that has been infecting us with these false dreams this entire time. In China, again, channels may be different from region to region. We've had the China Dream written up in New York Times by Tom Friedman. China needs its own dream. Our version of Time magazine talked about China Dream, you know, the power of the China Dream. Our sort of New York Times equivalent, People's Daily, talked about China Dream. In fact, it's been on the cover of almost every single print media to date, and TV shows are actually talking about it and doing documentaries on it. Xi Jinping, the head of China, when he first stepped into office last November, also one of his first speeches talked about how China Dream could give us pride back in our nation, the renewal of China. In China, one of the most effective channels is to teach government leaders about how they can build the China Dream as they're building new cities, as they're building 226 cities with 1 million or more people. So that's one of the things that we've been doing, is teaching these classes to 40 to 50 people about mayors or central government bureaus at a time. We've been taking out free ads in magazines about, you know, before and after, like I showed you, visualizing what a livable China could look like. The most important thing, though, that we're working on this year, and it's going to take us a while, but we want to embed these new social norms that we've identified, that we've co-created, into the background of soap operas into microfilms, the webisodes, into advertisements. Right here in your own backyard, USC Annenberg Norman Lear Center has been doing this work for a couple decades, I think. And they have a study, many studies, but one of them talks about how they worked with the scriptwriters of 90210 to talk about a story arc that embeds breast cancer genes. And their goal, and they have a survey that shows they've been very effective. They made a significant difference in the number of women that have gone out to see, do they have the breast cancer gene? Are they predisposed? And do they know that they can get a mastectomy not just as a post-cancer option, but as, preventative option? So we can do this by working with Hollywood, by working with the companies who are creating ad campaigns. The last one is really measuring the dream, right? Because we can't start this conversation and not know if we were a success. So has this become a national conversation? Have we painted a compelling picture of the dream, of the new dream? Have we activated these new social norms in every community, right, of different people, different faiths, different colors, different identities? So this hasn't actually just happened in China. This dream in a box concept has now started to trickle up in other regions. This is the UK. Starting last March, we did 4 workshops, we're on to our 5th soon, where they have started conversations on the UK dream. So my challenge to you today is to start the American dream conversation. So let's recap. The dream in a box, 7 easy steps, right? My challenge to you again, go back, draw a picture, draw a postcard from the future to yourself. What kind of person have I become? What kind of community do I live in? What kind of America am I proud of? I think this is probably the greatest task America has, to take back the shaping of the American dream, to use these conversations to bridge the different communities, again, of different faiths, colors, and identities. But this is something that a journey that we need to share together, and this is going to require voices from across America, starting with you today. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started.